Monday, for those of you who don't know, we headed off with 3 other individuals, Katie, Brian, and Liz, who are also education majors. We all headed off to do a big road trip to the Ningaloo Reef, which is in the northern part of Western Australia.
Yes.
And that was an incredible experience. It was a big thing to take on because we hired a car, we had campsites, we went shopping, we cooked all the food. This was definitely a big first for me. I mean, I've been on road trips with my family, but I've never tried to lead a road trip. I've never tried to plan it with other people before. And it was definitely a learning experience for everyone, I think.
Absolutely. I think it was tough, too, amongst all the other things that were going on.
Oh, yeah. We had so much else to do.
Just getting back from Broome and
before leaving for
history
Broome,
project.
There was,
and it was just
a lot on our plates.
But it all came together, and I think we all really enjoyed the experience.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
It was good. It was a really good time.
Yep. It was about a 16-hour car ride, which we split up both ways over 2 days. Mm-hmm. And that gave us Tuesday afternoon, all of Wednesday, and Tuesday morning in Exmouth.
Right.
And that's where the reef is.
Yeah.
And so we got up there on Tuesday afternoon, and we just kind of checked into the place that we were staying, which is a pretty nice, what they call caravan park. So you got a lot of campsites, but pretty much at each one there's just a small, you park your car, you set up a tent, there's a water spigot. That's about it. Communal bathrooms, showers, barbecues, cooking places. So I mean, it was nice. It wasn't quite as primitive actually as I'm used to in the States. Like it was a little bit.
It was. Yeah.
There's a little bit more around you.
Absolutely.
But we basically went in, got set up, and then we headed out to the national park where all the beaches are and everything. Which is you had to drive around the tip of the peninsula onto the other side. There's no roads that cut across the middle of it. You just drive on the outskirt of the peninsula about 45 minutes to get to where we went the first day.
Yep. We went to a place known as Turquoise Bay, which was actually really nice. You walked out, there was a nice little beach there. People were swimming and doing some other stuff. And then actually, right when we got there, we were so excited to be there, we put on our snorkel gear.
Yep.
And we swam on out. The reef was probably, I don't know, would you say 50 meters out?
Yeah, about 50 meters.
50 meters out. So you just got to swim out to the reef, and we got to see, some of the fish in there and kind of swim with the fish. And then actually, right as you walked into the water, there were fish that were swimming around you.
They're like a foot long.
Yeah, literally like right off
there.
the beach. You walk into the water, and there's fish swimming around you, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, one of them even touched my foot.
Yeah, one of them was getting a little frisky with Doug. I don't know what was going on there, but it happens,
Had to turn it down.
Yeah, so we went and snorkeled a little bit in the reef, and then we're like, wow, it was cool. And we came out, and I kind of dried off and laid in the sun a little bit. Yep. And then we brought the footy. We brought our footy, and we played around in the waves a little bit and with the footy. And
yeah, it was just a relaxing afternoon. Watched the sunset, headed on, and then we just kind of headed back to the campsite. And for those of you that don't know, the sunset in Australia, or at sunset, especially in this type of area where we were, is prime time for kangaroo action.
Very similar to deer.
Yeah,
in the United
very
States.
similar to deer in the way that they jump across the road and do things crazy that you don't know about. We saw 15 kangaroos on the way home.
Yeah. Dodged every one of them.
Oh, yeah. Some of them it wasn't very hard because they were kind of on the side, and we were just careful as we went by just in case they decided to do anything crazy.
Right.
But we did have to slow down a couple times and wait for them to hop through the road.
Yeah. Props to Liz.
Yeah, props to Liz who was driving that night. Absolutely. She did, however, run over a snake.
She did. It was kind of later. In the evening, we were almost home, and all of a sudden we saw this little thing slither across.
I mean, those things are fast.
The road.
There was definitely nothing she could have done to avoid the snake at all. It slid right underneath the tire of its own free will.
Yeah. So, I mean,
what can you do?
What can you do? I don't know if we killed it or not. It's probable. I mean, the car was pretty heavy, but I feel like snakes are pretty resilient, and
they have no spine.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I don't even know. Maybe it just kind of took one for the gut and then just getting the wind knocked out of it. I'm not really sure how snakes work.
Hopefully the snake's okay. But
yeah, that would be my ideal hope.
Yeah.
And that was, Tuesday night, we went back and had dinner and everything, which was...
Steak and potatoes.
It was good.
Actually. Yeah, it was
cooked
fantastic.
in a very primitive fashion, but it worked. It tasted good. We ate it, and we crashed. We were very tired.
Yeah. Long time on the road.
Yep, we were kind of down with the sun, up with the sun, more or less, in this time, because it gets pretty warm in the mornings in that tent. So the next morning on Wednesday, we kind of got up, tried to get everything figured out. We did a little exploring to see if we were going to be doing any kind of a tour that day, and At first, things didn't look like they were going to work out for us, but we ended up having quite the phenomenal day. The first thing we did was go back out to the national park where we went to do some snorkeling.
Before that, though, on the way out there, we stopped at the lighthouse.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, but before that, I'm forgetting. We stopped at there was a shipwreck that happened there. I don't know how many years ago.
Neither do I, but it was the SS Mildura. I remember the name.
Mildura. Ironically, they didn't have a plaque or anything to kind of commemorate
I was
the
kind of bummed
experience.
about that. I thought there would be I thought I was going to learn something there.
But I believe, well, I don't know if it was an Australian Navy ship or if it was a U.S. one, but I think there was a naval military base there, which I was told actually today. Tony told me it was a U.S. naval base.
Oh yeah, I did read up on that.
Yeah,
the U.S.
it was a U.S. naval base.
Yes, helped establish it.
So I'm not sure.
And still pays for maintenance actually of that base.
Look at that.
Because it's key in communicating to the submarines, both for the Australian,
the low frequency tower that we saw also.
Yes. We learned on this trip.
Did.
This was educational.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah,
we're teachers. What can we say?
But anyway, we went and saw that and took some pictures because that was kind of cool. And then we went to the lighthouse. And also took some more pictures because the view was pretty amazing.
I'm just going to go and say it right here that none of the pictures we took are going to do any justice at all.
No.
I did some photoshopping to attempt to give you an idea of what it looked like, but words cannot describe just the contrast between the reds and the browns and the intense blue-greens of the ocean. I mean...
Yeah. You had to be there.
You had to be there.
So...
But then, after all that...
Yes.
We went snorkeling. And the place that we went snorkeling to this time, there was no beach there. There was just kind of this rock outcropping that you walked down onto and set up camp. And then it dropped off about 4 feet. You kind of walked down the rocks, which were kind of pokey. But
they hurt. Bare feet hurt.
Bare feet.
Yeah.
You walked down and you were in about calf-deep water. And right there, again, fish swimming all around you as you're putting on your fins. And we went out and snorkeled. And the reef is right there. You could swim out.
Yeah.
You could swim out 100, 200 meters and still only be up to your sternum in water.
Right.
I mean, very shallow for a long way.
Yeah, as opposed to Turquoise Bay, too, where you had to swim out to the reef. The reef, literally, you got in the water and you put your head underwater and the reef was right there.
In your face.
Probably less than 10 meters away from the rocks.
Less, for sure.
It was amazing.
We spent hours in there swimming around, and we saw incredible types of fish. It's really actually difficult to explain because it's a different breed of animal, literally, in the sense that these fish look like they were finger painted by God. Just the colors that are, it's really, really unbelievable because we saw little schools of fish, I don't know if you remember these, but little schools that would swim around, and they were the bright blue-green, shining in your face like they were backlit by something.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was amazing.
And there would be fish with these neon purple outline around their bodies, that was shining like it was a neon sign.
Yeah.
I mean, fish that I've never even dreamed of were there. It was really, really cool.
It was really cool. And then there were some dories from
and Nemos.
Finding Nemo. Yeah, both Nemos. Nemos and dories.
Nemos and dories.
I think. Yeah. Both of them were there. So, I mean, there were some fish, obviously, that we had kind of known about before. But, like Doug was saying, there were some that they were, huge fish, too. Huge fish.
Huge. I was I would love to catch that and eat it for dinner, but then at the same time I was wait a second, this is a natural wildlife preserve. That's probably not an appropriate thought to have. Right. So I moved on. Right. But that thought, as a fisherman, did enter my mind a few times.
So, but it was quite unbelievable and quite an amazing time. We took underwater cameras. We bought some underwater cameras and we tried really hard to take pictures. We're going to go to get those developed. Hopefully they turn out well. And we will, when we get a chance, we'll get them on a disc and then get them up on the blog so that you all can see the things that we did.
Absolutely.
Because it was pretty amazing.